all, this is Supriya here, and today I'm going to teach you a poem of class 10th Cbse board, Animals. This poem has been composed by Walt Whitman. So before we begin with the poem, it is very important to have a brief idea about the poet. So who was Walt Whitman? Walt Whitman was a known figure in early 19th century poetry, American poetry. And he has written a different type of poetry which was revolutionary in nature. He deliberately wrote in free verse. That means he didn't follow any particular rhyme schemes. That means when you will read his poems, you won't be finding any particular rhyme schemes. He was known for his free verse. So let's deep dive into the poem. Let us start with the explanation of the poem. So we will start focusing on the very first sentence of the poem. And in these sentences, the poet has written, "I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long." So here in the very first sentence, the poet says that he wishes to turn back. Turn back to what? He wants to turn back to the time when human beings were living like apes in the jungle with different animals, right? So he wishes to go back to that time. And why does he want to do that? Why does he wish to become like an animal? Because he finds animals to be really placid and self-contained. Now, what do we mean by placid? Placid means relaxed, calm, peaceful. So he finds animals to be really relaxed, peaceful, and they are self-contained. He finds animals to be self-contained. That means the animals are happy with whatever they are having, right? So he finds a deeper sense of connection between his nature and between the nature of animals. And thus he says that I stand and look at them long and long. So he wishes to stand and he wishes to look at the animals for longer time period because he finds a connection between his nature and the animal's nature, and he feels wonders to see his reflection in them. So let's go ahead with the next lines. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. So in these sentences, the poet has tried to create a contrast between the nature of animals and human beings. He says that unlike human beings, animals don't cry and whine about their misery. They don't complain about the condition that they are suffering through. And they do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. So here he says that human beings, they are rational beings, right? If they are suffering through something or if they have committed any kind of sin, so what do? They suffer through sleepless nights. They stay awake in the bed and they seek repentance for their sins. But animals, on the other hand, they don't do such things because they aren't rational beings. And he further says that they do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. So here he also says that yeah, human beings are rational beings and they are aware of their sins unlike animals. But at the same time, animals, they don't boast of their good deeds like how human beings do, right? If they do any sort of good deed in the name of God, so they try to boast in front of other people just to gain few praise, right? So he says that animals, they don't do such things, and that makes me happy. That makes the poet happy about animals. Okay, so let's focus on the next sentence. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. So in this sentence also, the poet continues to create a contrast between the animals and human beings. He says it clearly that animals are not dissatisfied. That means they are satisfied with whatever they are having, and they are not demented with the mania of owning things. That means he says that human beings are always running after worldly comforts. They are always looking for materialistic things. The animals are not demented, not mad with the idea of possessing materialistic comforts. So let's go ahead with the next line. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So here also the poet says that he has never seen any animal bowing down to other animal like how human beings do. In human beings, there is a hierarchy. In human society, there is a hierarchy. People who are more affluent or rich, they will be respected more by the poorer people, right? But in animal kingdom, they never do so. In animal kingdom, everybody is equal. The poet says that he has never seen any animal bowing down to another animal who is more stronger, or you may say that they never, even he goes on to say that he has never seen animals bowing down to their ancestors like how we human beings do. We human beings, in order to show our devotion, in order to respect somebody, we bow down to them, we kneel down to them. Kneels means bow down. So he says that not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So the poet here also says that animals, they don't find themselves as the happiest or the saddest beings on earth like how we human beings do. Whenever we are having any sort of misery or any sort of good things happen to us, so what do? We feel, oh, we are the happiest person, or maybe we are the saddest person on the earth. But animals, they are always happy, they are always self-contained. So let's go ahead with the next line. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself, they evince them plainly in their possession. So here in these sentences, the poet says that animals are true to their relationships. They are very honest when it comes to show their relationships with other animals. They are not like human beings. Like what human beings do, they are always pretending to be really nice to each other, but in reality, they may not like each other, right? Whereas in animal kingdom, it is a truth that the stronger animal will use the weaker animal as its hunt. So the animals are never dishonest about showing their relations with each other. So the poet here really feels amazing at these qualities of animals. So when the poet is saying they bring me tokens of myself, here what do we mean by tokens? Tokens are the qualities of innocence, honesty, self-containment. So these are the qualities which he finds that the animals are still possessing. From the word myself, he is symbolizing the entire human race. So he is in a way talking about mankind. He's talking about the qualities of mankind. The qualities which were so pure and which were found earlier in human beings are now evident in animals, and they evince them plainly in their possession. They evince means to show, they reveal. So the poet finds that the animals show those qualities plainly in their possession. They show it clearly without any pretension. So he actually celebrates the fact that animals are still innocent and honest about their feelings, about their relations. All right, so we will focus on the last sentence. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? So here the poet is introspecting the fact that from where the animals got those tokens, those good qualities, the qualities of being kind, of being truthful, of being honest, of being innocent, these qualities which were being held earlier by human beings. The poet further questions whether he left those qualities a long time ago, or whether he dropped those qualities in a negligent way by being a careless person. So he is in a way introspecting. So this was the summary of the poem, and in the poem the poet is clearly creating a contrast between the nature of human beings and between animals, and he certainly says that he finds animals to be better than human beings. He appreciates a lot of qualities of animals, and he feels that those qualities can make the world better, so he finds animals to be better than human beings. Now we will focus on the literary devices that the poet has used in this poem. So in the very first two sentences, assonance has been used. Assonance, as in I think I could turn and live with animals. So here the vowel sound I has been repeated. So assonance has been used. Then there is a repetition. When the poet says, I stand and look at them long and long. So the word long has been repeated. So repetition is there. Then there is anaphora as well. Anaphora, I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. So in the first two lines, the very first two lines, they start with the word I. Okay, so anaphora has been used here. Okay, so anaphora has been used in the next three lines as well. They, the next three lines, they start with the word they, and anaphora means two or more consecutive lines when they start with the same word. Anaphora has been used. Also, metaphor has been used in this line. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. So here sweat and whine, they have been used as in for complaint. Okay, that means the animals, they don't complain about their condition. So sweat and whine is a metaphor for complaint. Again, metaphor has been used in the very words token. So when I was explaining the poem, I already told you that tokens symbolize the quality of being innocent, of being kind, of being truthful, of being selfless. So tokens is a metaphor has been used when the poet says they bring tokens of myself. Also, in the very second last line, alliteration has been used when the poet says, I wonder where. So, were sound, W has been repeated. So, alliteration is there. Yeah, so that's all about the poem. If you find this video helpful, just hit the subscribe button and give it a thumbs up. And if you have any doubt in understanding this poem, you can let me know by commenting down below. So, thank you.